Hey guys, what is going on? It is me, BikiriBox12 here, and welcome back to another Realm of the Mad God Top 10 video. Last time we took a look at the top 10 coolest quest monsters, which was like, I swear, a year ago. And now today we're going to be looking at the top 10 coolest dungeon minions. In order to qualify for the list, the enemy must be found within a dungeon, must be anything besides the dungeon boss itself, and I'm limiting it to one enemy per dungeon. So let's jump right in. Coming in at number 10, we have the Crawling Gray Spider. A very simple enemy to start everything off. And out of all the spiders that I could have chosen from the Crawling Depths, I found this one to stand out the most. While I was a bit partial to the Crawling Spider Hatchling since it was blue, and that's my favorite color, I think the combination of black and red is more fitting for a spider than blue and red. Also, it has a few white spots on it to give it that little extra flair of detail, and I like that. But, riddle me this, guys. Why is it that on RotMG, the spider with spots on it is called the Crawling Gray Spider, and the spider without any spots is called the Crawling Gray Spotted Spider? Oh no. Number 9. Snake Pit Guard. Okay, some of you might be a little thrown off by this because isn't the Snake Pit Guard the boss of the treasure room in the Snake Pit? Yes, technically it is, but at the same time, the Snake Pit Guard is also the minion of Stheno the Snake Queen. So it's a boss and a minion at the same time, but since it's not the main boss of the dungeon, it qualifies. And I know a lot of you are probably just looking at it going, it's an orange snake. I get it. He doesn't have that extra flair of detail that the spider does. Well, to be fair, he does actually have some fangs, which I find to be pretty cool, but I think a big reason why I like him so much is because he reminds me of the Great Coil Snake, and if you did watch my last top 10 video, you should know how much I like him. Number 8. Unicorn. It's a unicorn. What else do you need? Number 7. Ghost of Roger. Okay, now we're getting a little more creative here. There are a lot of unique enemies in Davy Jones' locker, but I think the Ghost of Roger trumps them all. I know some people may find skulls to be a bit cliche, but when a skull is done right, it's done right. And the Ghost of Roger is no exception. Number 6. Vintner of Oryx. If you guys remember my wine cellar guide video, I talked about how cool I thought the Vintner of Oryx was. Because while I thought enemies like the Abomination of Oryx were cool, you know, they're blue, they got red eyes, they do a ton of damage, I think that the Vintner is rocking more character. He just seems like a cool dude to me. Alright, he might be under the command of an evil overlord, but that is a guy who loves his job. Alright, just look at that face. He is having a blast. Number 5. Big Yeti. Yeah, I was really torn between this and the creepy, weird, dark spirit mirror image monster. Now, I'm not kidding, that's what it's called. Alright, because both of them are cool in their own right, and I've already established that I really like skulls, so you'd think, oh, that's the winner. But I look at this Yeti, and I can't help but put a smile on my face. I can't explain it, but I think the white and pink really go well together, especially whenever you plaster it onto the background of the ice cave. I don't know, it just seems very fitting for me. Like the ice cave needs the Yeti. Without it, it wouldn't be the same. Number 4. Oh, here we go. We're getting into it now. Oryx Puppet. Yet another treasure room boss that makes the list. Personally, I think the design of the Oryx Puppet completely beats out Oryx's original design by a long shot. I don't really know why, you know, they're very similar. Obviously, it's the Oryx Puppet, it's supposed to look like him. But I think it's the shape of the puppet that really distinguishes it for me. The simple addition of wooden joints to connect his body parts adds all the more character to this enemy. And I think adding brown wooden joints was a good method of breaking up the black, not making it too solid and looking more interesting. As soon as I saw Oryx Puppet, it was one of my favorites. Instantly, I knew it. Same with the Yeti. I looked at it, loved it. Number 3. Getting into the classics now. Fishman Warrior. I've already stated how blue was my favorite color. The Fishman Warrior is home to my favorite shade of blue. I can't tell if it's sky blue or true blue or whatever. There's so many different blues. I always thought that the idea of Atlantis was so fascinating. So naturally, my favorite color is blue. I'm interested in Atlantis. This guy's a perfect match for me. He's got the spear, the ears, and the... Alright. He's just an overall cool enemy, and that's all that he needs to make it to number 3. Number 2. Jackal Assassin. The assassin has everything that I love and more. He has an interesting shape, good color balance, the addition of sky blue is a bonus, and he's found within the Tomb of the Ancients, which is, I think, one of the most detailed dungeons in the game, so obviously there's gonna be some cool enemies. Now, it was a real close call between the Jackal Assassin and the Veteran, but the fact of the matter is I just prefer blue over green, so it wasn't too hard of a decision. But there is one final enemy, one last dungeon monster in the entire game that I find to be the coolest out of all of them. Number 1. the Basilisk. While he may not have any sky blue, sadly, I think the interesting clash of warm and cool colors here more than makes up for that. The posterior side of his body is almost completely black, but with a slight residue of navy blue, whereas the anterior side is a combination of orange, red, and it might even look like purple is in there. But it's not too bright to where it completely contrasts with the other side. I think what really makes the enemy pop out is the use of yellow for his claws and his eyes. It really gives off that jungle predator vibe, and I think that might have been what they were going for. And to top it off, the Basilisk is a part of one of my favorite dungeons, the Forbidden Jungle. So those are what I believe to be the 10 coolest dungeon monsters in the game, but this is not the end-all be-all list. Please, I encourage you to post your own list in the comments below, because I would love to see what you guys have to say. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to check out the next episode whenever I post it, which will probably be soon. Alright. See ya.